Turning now to the economy, the AI revolution in the job force continues. Go and put this up here on the screen. This is a tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders. Quote, "Stop hiring humans," a new billboard says.
Ouch.
The era of AI employees is here. Billboards across the country promoting the replacement of millions of jobs with AI and robotics. Great idea. One simple question. How will those displaced workers survive when there are no jobs or income for them? This is increasingly the question that many companies and young people are going to have to answer. Let's put this up here on the screen. It backs up much of what I have been saying now, is that, quote, more big companies bet they can still grow without hiring. Quote, "It is the corporate gamble of the moment. Can you run a company, increase sales, and juice profits without adding people?" American employers are increasingly making the calculation they can keep the size teams flat or shrink them through layoffs without harming their business. Part of that thinking is that AI will be used to pick up the slack and automate more processes. Companies are hesitant to make any moves in an economy that is still uncertain. JP Morgan's chief financial officer told investors recently the bank has now, quote, "a very strong bias against having the reflective response to hire more people for any given need." Multiple other companies last week had sales rose even without adding employees. Financial services companies like Goldman Sachs said that the firm will constrain headcount growth through the end of the year and reduce roles that will be more efficient with AI. Walmart, the nation's private employer, said it would keep headcount roughly flat over the next 3 years, even as sales grow. Multiple other companies that they list now say that they will be reducing their headcount because of AI, and the ROI of AI is increasing, apparently on their conference call mentions of chief financial service officers. By the way, just this morning, huge news out of a couple of major companies. I believe we have one of them on Amazon. Do we have that? No, we don't. Okay, so this morning, Amazon is announcing 30,000 corporate employees will be cut from the company.
Let me just start. Hold on. These numbers are crazy. This is crazy. 30,000 Amazon. This is wild. We cannot bypass that amount and not say anything about that. That is crazy. But you know what's the sad part about him saying that? If Amazon succeeds by not hiring 30,000 people or letting go that many people, either one, if other companies, much smaller companies, if they see Amazon is able to profit by making these types of cuts or replacements, you best believe this will be a trend for other companies, especially small companies, to adopt what Amazon has done. Amazon is one of the trendsetters in this space, the tech space. They pretty much set the trends. If they do this and they could succeed with it, other companies will follow suit. They will copy and paste their, I guess, tactic or their strategy and implement that into their operations, just to see if they can also win like Amazon. So 30,000 is a lot. This is crazy, man.
14,000 immediately. 10% of the entire white-collar workforce will be axed from the company. By the way, another huge piece of news, arguably, in my opinion, more important, UPS will now cut 48,000 jobs in management and operations. Wow. That is some. Wow. It will cut 20,000 positions. Previously, shares, by the way, are up 12% pre-market trading. So the fact that UPS is going to fire 48,000 management and operations people shows that, and by the way, that the stock goes up. That actually might be the most AI firing of all time, because now is the time when you don't fire people, because we're going into Christmas season, November and December. That's usually when they surge in temporary hiring. They may actually still do that just for the average packers, shippers, delivery people, etc. But the management and operations, they're probably just trying to automate all of those procedures.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's grim out here. You're cutting 10% of people at Amazon. Again, November, December, the busiest months at the whole company, some 10% of your entire workforce before Christmas. Now you have UPS here being fired, 48,000 people. You have the open acknowledgement. I've talked here about how AI is just like more Excel corporate sludge 90% of the time. Is you no longer have to have a guy who takes minutes for a meeting.
Entry level.
It summarizes your stuff. It can help you put PowerPoints together.
Entry level.
It can check your commas, your periods, and your footnotes and automate them. That's usually the grunt work that most 22-year-olds get hired in the white-collar workforce. And now all of those are slowly starting to erode. So if you're a new hire out there and you took some $50,000, $60,000 in debt, you're screwed.
Yeah, man.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
It's really It's dark.
I mean, just him saying that, that was really my next thing to talk about. I have friends, I keep talking about this. I have friends that went to a coding boot camp. They went to college. They have a CS degree. They have these degrees. They have the talent. They have the skill. Yet they can't find work. I know people who just gave up in finding work as a developer, right? And these are experienced people, and they can barely find work in that space also. So it's just sad to see them not being able to find work, and they have to pivot to something else completely different from what they were trying to obtain in the beginning, which is something in tech, software engineer or developing. So it's sad to see that people just can't find work right now, especially entry level people. I have a lot of people on this channel that has contacted me via LinkedIn or IG asking questions how to get into IT professionally, obviously, how to break into IT. And they've been sending their resumes everywhere, job applications, and just no luck, right? And a lot of times you feel like you're doing something wrong, and a lot of times it's not really you, it's just the market. Like how this guy is explaining, companies are just not really hiring that many people right now for whatever reason. It's not just AI, but just for whatever reason, they're not making money. I don't know, but it's just the reality of many jobs are just slow hiring. That's just what it is. So it's not really you per se that you're doing something wrong, right? It's just the way of the world right now, sadly. I mean, there's not much to say besides that. Some of you may have to find jobs outside the job that you are looking to obtain in IT. I mean, I'll just be real with you. I won't sugarcoat nothing, excuse me. But that's just a reality. Some of you may not find a job anytime soon. I mean, it's been months already. So it's just a sad reality that you may have to pivot to something else just to earn money to pay your bills and pay off your loans or whatnot. Like, that's just the reality. I'm sorry. I mean, there's not much to say besides that. That's just the way of the world right now. And it's sad to say that, but that's really what it is, you know? It's crazy, man. This is awful. Let me read some comments real quick. This person says, soon the corporations will need AI customers too. I hear you, man. I hear you. Next comment says, man, that's a good thing. Every city was giving them huge tax breaks to build there. Interesting. Very interesting. Andrew Yang. I know this guy. I was going to vote for him. I would vote for Andrew. This is like a couple of years ago. This dude, he spoke about this. The whole AI, this whole thing with automation and AI. He spoke about this years ago. There we go. Yeah, and Andrew Yang spoke about this very, very much a few years ago. But let me read the comment. It says, Andrew Yang's precedence on this can never be understated. Hope I said that right. Yeah, understated. He still doesn't get enough credit for opening himself up to ridicule on the national stage in order to warn us. He did. I remember that dude. I remember Andrew Yang. I sure did. I was going to vote for this guy. But he brought this attention to me, how he spoke about it so much when he would just talk in interviews or whatnot. He would bring this up all the time, this AI revolution all the time. So I do remember that guy. Interesting information. But what I'll do is, let me play some of this video actually. Here you go.
It is dark. It is. Yeah. And I mean, and it's here, right? This is not coming, it's here. You're going to see it through two different modes. One is these, big layoffs like we're seeing with Amazon and UPS. Both of them are, important industry leaders, both within their space and also nationally. Other companies are going to see that and follow suit. Amazon also, we covered last week. New York Times got their hands on internal documents showing that they're planning to get rid of 600,000 blue-collar workers over the coming years. With those, because Amazon has such extraordinary churn, they're just planning as people leave because they can no longer take the physical stress and burden of working in an Amazon warehouse or as an Amazon delivery driver. As those people leave, they're just not going to be replaced. And I think we're going to see a lot of that too. And that's what these companies who spoke to the Wall Street Journal, that's what they're indicating is, Susie left. Normally we'd hire to replace Susie. Now we're just not going to. We're just going to allow that sort of churn to lower our overall headcount and sub in AI to make our existing workforce, pick up all the slack for the workers that no longer are here. And yes, of course, all the incentives, all of the Wall Street incentives are to move in that direction. So, I mean, I really appreciate Bernie. God bless him. Like, he must have the most incredible genetics, because man has not slowed down, still extremely sharp, still absolutely with it in terms of the threats that is facing the American workforce, really the global workforce at this point. And here's the other thing. Let's put C4 up on the screen, and then we can get Sagar's pullout from this. But Wall Street Journal also had a piece about the economy that's great for parents, lousy for their grown-up kids. So, you know, if you're someone who was able to get your college education, was relatively inexpensive, and you know, at that point in time, you could just get a job out of college, stable career, climb your way up the ladder. Housing was a lot less expensive. Healthcare was a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
Now you have assets. You know, now you're in the stock market, your 401k, all those sorts of things are doing good. And meanwhile, your kids who did, you know, trying to follow the same track, go to college, take on the debt, come out of college, and there's nothing for them. You know, the unemployment rate for new college grads is going up and up and up. Now, partly it's because people are worried about a recession and all the tariff insanity and everything that's going on, and partly it is because of AI. And put C3 up on the screen. This was the piece that Sagar highlighted in particular. This chart is, this is really, really dire stuff, you know, in terms of the fulfillment of the population, in terms of the stability of the society as well. You only have 11% of 18 to 29-year-olds who have confidence that they will be able to buy a home. But all of these numbers are actually really bad. So you only have, you know, just over 25% who say they can keep up with expenses. By the way, numbers are not all that much better. For those who are 30 and older, you're under 35%, maybe that's like 33%, who are confident they can just keep up with their expenses. You know, for 18 to 29, you have under 20% who think they can buy a car. Also under 20%, maybe that's around 16%, who say they could pay an unexpected medical expense. You have under 25% who are confident they could find a good job. 15% say that they're confident they can have enough savings for retirement. And I've been reading this book by Peter Turchin about when societies like collapse. And his analysis is that the two major factors that lead to sort of like societal breakdown and revolution are decline in material living standards. And in the U.S. context, he looks at the decline in life expectancy, which is, you know, undeniable. And there's this mass disparity, too, between the wealthy and the poor, et cetera, but that we're going backwards in terms of life expectancy. And the other thing is what he calls overproduction of elites. So if you have...
Hold on, let me just stop right here real quick. Let me read this one comment, and I'm just going to end this video. This comment talks about Andrew Yang. I'm not sure if you know who that guy is. Andrew Yang was going to run for office. I'm not sure what year, but it was a long time ago. Maybe good like 5 or 6 years ago. A long time ago. Maybe even more than that. But Andrew Yang spoke a lot about AI. Like he got so much backlash of him speaking about this automation and AI revolution that we see today. He knew about this, I'll say a good almost 10 years ago. Amazing dude, but he brought this to my attention out of anyone. But yeah, Andrew Yang was amazing, and he predicted this almost 10 years ago. So amazing guy. I wish he ran for. I wish he won, honestly. But the guy's just. I love what he planned on doing. But anyway, this comment speaks about Andrew Yang. Let me read it real quick. It says Andrew Yang's pre-science on this can never be understated. He still doesn't get enough credit for opening himself to ridicule on the national stage in order to warn us. Andrew Yang, look him up. Amazing guy. I agree with this comment 100%. Just truth all day. But anyway, what I'll do is leave the link to this video. You can watch it on your own time, watch the entire thing. I'll just stop right here for now. But interesting situation. Again, a lot of you are not doing anything wrong in terms of IT or software engineer or just tech. It's just the way of the world. It's the way of the market. It's just a sad truth. It's just not the best time right now. I mean, it's hard to find work because a lot of companies are not hiring like they once did. So that's just the truth. Once again, like I said, you may have to do something that you don't want to do. Like we all have bills. You may have to do something that you may not want to do. And sadly, you probably went to college and spent all this money and now you owe the money back. It's terrible. I mean, it's so messed up. And I feel bad for a lot of people who are going through this right now. But That's just what it is right now. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. You can check me out on LinkedIn. You can also look out for me on IG and also my TikTok. I post on those platforms daily. Feel free to reach out to me on those platforms. And thanks for watching. Peace out. My name is Ariel DeJuiced. Thanks for watching this video. Oh, join my email list. My email newsletter. It's on my website, juicytech.com. Juicytech.com. Join the email newsletter when you get a chance. But for now, peace out. Thanks for watching once again.